Finally, Udo called Amara to his chambers. "Do you truly believe Samuel is the man for you?" he asked. Tears filled her eyes as she replied, "I've never doubted it, Father." Her sincerity struck a chord in him, but he dismissed her with a wave, unwilling to show his conflict. Meanwhile, a new suitor entered the scene, a wealthy trader named Obinna. His arrival disrupted the fragile hope Samuel and Amara had built. Obinna was confident, charming, and eager to win the chief's favor. "Your daughter deserves the best," he declared, flaunting his wealth before Udo. Amara detested Obinna immediately. His arrogance and entitlement repelled her, but her father seemed intrigued. "A man like Obinna can provide security and elevate our family status," Udo told the council. The elders nodded in agreement, deepening Amara's despair. Why can't they see Samuel as worth, she wondered. Obinna wasted no time trying to impress Amara, showering her with gifts and sweet words. She rejected them all, making her disdain clear. "I already love someone," she said firmly. But Obinna wasn't deterred. "Love can grow," he replied smoothly, his persistence unsettling her. Samuel learned of Obinna's arrival and felt the weight of new competition. Though he trusted Amara's loyalty, he feared her father's growing interest in the trader. "I can't let this man take her away," he resolved. His determination deepened, fueling his plans to secure their future together. The village buzzed with talk of Obinna's wealth and charm. Some urged Amara to reconsider, warning her against risking everything for Samuel. But Amara remained steadfast. "I won't betray my heart," she told herself, even as the pressure from her father and the community threatened to break her resolve. Realizing time was slipping away, Samuel decided to confront Chief Udo directly. He arrived at the palace unannounced, his heart pounding but his mind clear. The guards hesitated but eventually let him in. Udo, surprised by his audacity, gestured for him to speak. "What is it you want now?" "I've proven my love for Amara," Samuel began, his voice steady. "I ask for your blessing to marry her." The chief's face darkened, but Samuel continued. "We may not have riches, but we have something stronger, love, commitment, and a future we'll build together." The room fell silent. Udo leaned back, studying Samuel intently. "And what makes you think love alone is enough?" he asked. Samuel replied, "Because love inspires effort. I will work harder every day to ensure Amara never lacks anything." His words struck a nerve, though Udo remained outwardly stoic. "You're bold, I'll give you that," Udo finally said. "But boldness isn't enough to change my mind. Obinna offers what you cannot, wealth and status." Samuel clenched his fist but stayed calm. "With respect, Chief, wealth can fade. But love, true love, is enduring," he argued passionately. Udo dismissed Samuel without a clear answer, leaving him frustrated but undeterred. As Samuel left, Amara intercepted him outside the palace. "What did he say?" she asked anxiously. Samuel sighed, he's still undecided. "But I won't stop until we're together." Amara's heart swelled with admiration for his determination. Obinna, sensing Amara's resistance, decided to play dirty. He bribed a few villagers to spread false rumors about Samuel, accusing him of stealing crops. The accusations quickly reached Udo, who summoned Samuel for questioning. "Explain yourself," the chief demanded, his tone accusatory. Samuel led himself calmly, presenting evidence of his hard work and honest dealings. Many villagers, who had benefited from his produce, vouched for him. The chief's doubts lingered, but the lack of concrete proof made it difficult to punish Samuel. Obinna, watching from the sidelines, grew frustrated. Amara confronted Obinna directly. "Stay away from Samuel," she warned, her voice firm. Obinna smirked. "You'll see, Amara. Your father will never let you marry a farmer," he said smugly. Amara's anger burned, but she refused to let his words shake her faith in Samuel. As tensions rose, Samuel and Amara became more cautious, meeting in secret only when absolutely necessary. Each encounter felt precious, a brief escape from the mounting challenges. "No matter what happens, I'm with you," Amara assured him, her words like balm to Samuel's weary spirit. Chief Udo began to notice cracks in Obinna's polished image. Whispers of his shady dealings reached the council, raising doubts about his suitability. Though Udo didn't confront Obinna directly, the seed of distrust had been planted. Quietly, he began reevaluating his stance on Amara's future. The tension in the village grew as Chief Udo hesitated to make a final decision. Elders whispered about Samuel's determination, while others admired Obinna's wealth. Udo felt the weight of conflicting opinions but remained silent. Amara's patience began to thin, and Samuel's frustrations simmered beneath his calm exterior. Obinna's influence continued to spread. He donated to the village, built new huts for some families, and hosted feasts. Many villagers praised him, but others questioned his intentions. "He's buying loyalty," a woman remarked, drawing nods of agreement. Amara, however, refused to be swayed by his tactics. One evening, Chief Udo summoned Samuel and Obinna to the palace. "I must consider what's best for Amara and this village," he began. "Samuel, you have proven your love, but Obinna brings opportunities we cannot ignore. I will decide soon." His words hung heavily in the room. Amara, overhearing the meeting, confronted her father. "You can't let money decide my happiness," she pleaded. Udo's face softened briefly, but he quickly masked it with sternness. "This is not just about you, Amara. My decision affects the entire village," he said, dismissing her protest. Samuel left the palace feeling dissamuated but not broken. "If this is a test of endurance, I will endure," he told himself. Amara met him outside and embraced him tightly. "We'll get through this," she whispered. Samuel nodded, drawing strength from her faith in their love. Frustrated by Udo's delay, Obinna decided to escalate his schemes. He approached a group of elders with promises of wealth if they convinced the chief to favor him. "We need progress, not sentimentality," he argued, swaying a few with his persuasive words and gold. Amara heard of Obinna's bribes and grew more furious. She stormed into the council's meeting and declared, "If wealth is all you value, then you value nothing. Samuel has shown what true character means, and that's what I deserve." The elders exchanged uneasy glances, shamed by her outburst. Meanwhile, Samuel focused on his farm, expanding his efforts and helping others in need. His quiet actions earned him respect among villagers. "He may not be rich, but he has a good heart," a man said. Slowly, more villagers began to see Samuel as a better match for Amara. Obinna, realizing his influence was waning, plotted a final move to discredit Samuel. He hired men to damage Samuel's crops at night, hoping to make him appear incapable. The next morning, Samuel discovered the destruction but didn't retaliate. "I'll rebuild," he said firmly, refusing to let anger consume him. Amara stood by Samuel as he began repairing the damage. "You're stronger than anyone I've ever known," she told him. Samuel smiled faintly, grateful for her unwavering support. Despite the challenges, their love grew deeper, forming an unbreakable bond that even Obinna's schemes couldn't shatter. Chief Udo called for a village gathering to announce his decision. The square filled with villagers eager to witness the outcome. Amara sat beside her mother, her heart pounding. Samuel stood quietly at the edge of the crowd, while Obinna positioned himself confidently near the chief. "I have weighed all considerations," Udo began. "Both Samuel and Obinna have shown qualities that could benefit Amara and this village. But only one can secure her future and uphold our traditions." His gaze swept over the crowd, lingering on Samuel and Obinna before continuing. Samoa has proven his love through actions, not words, Udo said. The villagers murmured, surprised by his acknowledgement. But Obinna offers security and opportunities that cannot be ignored. The chief's words felt like a balancing act, leaving everyone uncertain of where he would ultimately land. Amara stood suddenly, interrupting her father. "My heart belongs to Samoa, and that will never change," she declared, her voice steady despite her trembling hands. "If you care about my happiness, you listen to me." Her boldness shocked the crowd, but Samoa's eyes filled with pride. Udo hesitated, visibly torn. The murmurs grew louder, and the pressure mounted. Finally, he raised a hand for silence. "I will announce my decision tomorrow," he said, retreating to his chambers. The crowd dispersed, leaving an air of suspense and uncertainty hanging over the village. That night, Chief Udo sat alone, deep in thought. Memories of his late wife, Amara's mother, filled his mind. "What would you do?" he whispered to the darkness. He wrestled with his pride, traditions, and a father's love, seeking clarity as the hours ticked by. Amara couldn't sleep either. She stared at the stars, praying for a miracle. Her maid tried to comfort her, but nothing eased the tight knot in her chest. Tomorrow decides everything, Amara thought, torn between hope and fear of what her father might say. Samoa worked late into the night, pouring his energy into restoring his farm. "This is for us," he murmured, imagining a future where he and Amara were finally free to be together. Despite the odds, he refused to let despair take root in his heart. Obinna, on the other hand, drank heavily, furious at the possibility of losing. "That farmer doesn't deserve her," he spat, vowing to take drastic measures if Udo didn't choose him. His growing desperation threatened to push him into dangerous territory, setting the stage for chaos. As dawn approached, the village buzzed with anticipation. Everyone prepared for the chief's final announcement, each harboring their own hopes and fears. For Amara, Samoa, and Obinna, the stakes had never been higher, and the outcome promised to change their lives forever. At sunrise, the village gathered once more in the square. The air was tense, filled with whispers and speculations. Amara clutched her mother's hand, her eyes fixed on her father's throne. Samoa stood in the crowd, calm but resolute, while Obinna radiated a false confidence. Chief Udo emerged, his expression unreadable. He raised a hand for silence. "Today, I fulfill my duty as your chief and as a father," he began. "My decision is not just about tradition but also about ensuring my daughter's happiness and the future of our village." The villagers leaned in, holding their breaths. "I have chosen Samuel," Udo declared firmly. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Amara's face lit up with joy, and tears streamed down her cheeks. Samoa smiled, his heart swelling with relief and gratitude. Obinna's face darkened. He clenched his fist, struggling to contain his fury. "You'll regret this decision, Chief Udo," he muttered under his breath. Without waiting for a response, he stormed off, leaving a trail of whispers behind him. Amara ran to Samoa, embracing him tightly. "We did it," she whispered. The villagers erupted in cheers, celebrating the union of love and integrity. Chief Udo watched them, a small smile breaking through his stern facade. "Perhaps I made the right choice after all," he thought. That evening, Samoa and Amara's families held a quiet celebration. Friends and neighbors joined them, singing and dancing under the moonlight. For the first time in weeks, Amara felt a sense of peace. "This is the beginning of our happiness," she told Samoa, her voice soft with emotion. Samoa's mother approached Amara. "You have chosen wisely, my son," she said, her tone warm. Amara nodded, grateful for her support. "I'll do everything to make Samoa proud," she promised. The older woman smiled, placing a hand on Amara's shoulder in silent approval. Meanwhile, Obinna sulked in his lavish home, plotting revenge. "They think they've won," but this is far from over, he said to himself. His servants exchanged nervous glances, sensing the storm brewing in their master's mind. Chief Udo watched the celebration from a distance, reflecting on his decision. Love may not feed a village, but it strengthens its foundation, he mused. He resolved to support Samoa and Amara in any way he could, knowing the challenges they might face. As the night deepened, Amara and Samoa sat beneath the stars, holding hands. Our journey won't be easy, but we'll face it together, Samoa said. Amara nodded, her heart filled with hope. Little did they know, their trials were far from over. Obinna began spreading rumors about Samoa, claiming he wasn't as honorable as he appeared. A man like that can't lead a household, let alone contribute to a village, he told anyone who would listen. Some believed him, while others dismissed his bitterness. One night, Obinna sent men to vandalize Samoa's farm again, leaving it in ruins. This will break him, he thought smugly. When Samoa discovered the destruction, his heart sank, but he refused to despair. I'll rebuild again, he told Amara, determination lighting up his face. The villagers grew divided. Some began questioning Udo's decision, while others rallied around Samoa. Obinna's wealth may glitter, but Samoa's heart is pure, an elder argued during a heated discussion. The tension in the village became palpable, threatening to escalate further. Amara confronted Obinna publicly. If you truly cared about this village, you wouldn't tear it apart out of spite, she said. Obinna smirked but said nothing, his silence confirming her accusations. The villagers murmured, their trust in him beginning to waver.